It's time for, hello, a Jersey Shore recap podcast.
Hello.
Hello. Hello to you, everybody. Welcome back to Hello, our Jersey Shore episode by episode recap.
And this is your host, G-Wow.
And I'm Cookie, and I think I accidentally stole your line. Don't you normally say that? The episode by episode?
We don't have lines. No, we're good. This is season 2, episode 3, Creepin, which I have already commented on my love and hate for the fact that they say creepin in terms of hitting on girls.
I find it to be bittersweet because it is weird, but at the same time, it's almost like, well, at least they admit it's creepy. Like
it's awkwardly self-aware.
Yeah. Is it good? Is it good or bad when people can admit they're doing something bad? Does that make it better? Who knows?
Well, speaking of not being able to admit when you're doing something bad, we come back to the fight between Angelina versus Polly and Mike. And I say it's literally a fight because she does hit him. I don't know if in the last episode we really saw the extent. Like, I know we saw a little slap, but she kept going. And not that she was hurting him, but just the fact that she wouldn't give it up. I'm like, girl, relax.
No, yeah, she wasn't punching him in the face. It was very kind of a light slap.
It was more like the thought that counts, you know?
The point was that she was in his space. She put her hands on him, whether it hurt him or not. It's still inappropriate.
And antagonizing because he's saying, do it again. Like as in you're being crazy. Like, why are you doing this? He's not actually telling her to.
And so they go outside and Jenny kind of gets involved a little bit. She's sort of listening to them explain the situation. And Angelina's saying, I didn't hit you.
She's wild. What is her deal? She can't tell the truth. She's now immediately 5 minutes after doing this, trying to spin some other narrative, talking about things at the club. I don't know if she's confused or if she's just really that drunk, but what a mess. And Jenny's not buying it. She's like, girl.
I cannot get a read on Angelina because she does this a lot. She did it in season 1, too, where she's like, I didn't do that. I don't remember. I must have been too drunk.
Gaslight queen.
She is the gaslight queen. And I just wonder, is she also gaslighting herself or does she know she's lying?
I don't know how far her denial goes, but Mike actually screams at her, go to bed.
They literally will tell her, you need to stop it now or you're going to burn this bridge. They almost spell it out for her. And she's like, she won't go. She won't take the hint.
She's such a deer in headlights. And I think that she is super insecure. And it's just she's trying to get everybody to like her, but she's doing a horrible job of it.
That's where I sort of relate a little bit-ish because I try not to be this way as much anymore. But in the past, there's been times when I felt insecure or I said the wrong thing. And so I keep doubling down and people tell me, just cut it, just stop it. And I can't stop. Yeah. So
I feel bad for her. So yeah. I get that.
The same, because I've done that. So I can relate. In a different way. I mean, I'm not a pathological liar like she is, but
well, then here's where I start to really disagree with her because she wakes up in the morning and she did this before last season where she wakes up and is like, I don't remember anything.
It's kind of the same every time. What? I don't remember. I'm sorry. Angelina was not blacked out during that fight.
No.
She was not blacked out. She was drunk, but she was not blacked out. And so I understand when you're drunk, you don't remember everything, but if you're going to fight with somebody that you're normally friends with, you remember that to an extent. You may not remember the details, but you got in a fight. And so, yeah, it's bullshit. She's hoping that people will be like, oh, it's fine.
Well, and I think too that if she was just kind of a little bit more upfront and forthcoming with being sorry, they might have been a little more forgiving. But her apology isn't a real apology because she's basically like, I don't remember anything. I'm sorry. She's not like, I took it too far. Yeah. She's just like, look, I don't she even starts it out with, look, I don't remember anything. It's that's not saying you're sorry.
Yeah, exactly. So just to be clear, there's a moment where she sits down with Polly. I think it's later the next day.
Yeah.
And she gives a half apology where she's like, I don't really remember it. And I don't know if you're telling the truth about what I did, but if you're right, then I guess I'm sorry. That's the energy of it. Girl. And then Polly's response is interesting. He says to her something to the extent of I appreciate that you're apologizing and I accept the apology, but I still don't fuck with you.
You do your thing. Yeah. I'll do mine. We're going to be in the house together, but we're not cool. It's not like it was. I get that. Sometimes people take it too far and you can say I appreciate that you're coming and saying sorry, but we're not going to be able to move past this. Facts.
Yeah, exactly. Because I think people mistake forgive for allowing it back in your life. Right. I think you could forgive somebody without even telling them that you forgave them. You could forgive somebody you haven't spoken to in 10 years. Forgiveness is a personal experience.
Okay, well, let's go a little bit on the lighter side here. We go to the gelato shop. Is this their first shift that we actually see?
I think it is, yeah, because we
Because they
saw
get their
orientation.
uniforms. Yeah.
Yeah, we had the orientation, but this is their first real shift. I think it's funny that the guy's name is Enzo, right?
Yes.
Enzo. He keeps calling Vinny Vincenzo, which I find funny.
And Vinny's like so playing into it. He's like, I'm gonna brush up on my Italian. All my Italian relatives call me Vincenzo. I'm gonna, what's the matter? It's just so funny to me. I love it.
It didn't really dawn on me until this episode that even though they're not in Jersey, they found a way to sort of find as close to that culture as possible by doing gelato. Because gelato was Italian, right?
Absolutely. And let me just say that the sandwich that Vinny makes and is trying to show off, because Vinny's like totally kissing ass to Enzo, but I will admit that sandwich was perfection.
I don't remember a sandwich. Wait, Vinny made a sandwich at work?
Yeah. That's why I'm this gelato shop. Like, I'm confused because it doesn't seem like it's just gelato, but that's maybe just where they're working, because he puts together a sandwich. He wraps it up in saran wrap and he's like bringing it over like it's the Holy Grail.
And you know what I've noticed, and you'll see this throughout the episodes, there's never really any customers. Like the Shore Store always like packed, but it's empty.
Do you think that's by design because they have to like sign waivers and things, and people in Miami maybe don't, it's not like the novelty that it is in Jersey. Like people in Jersey, nothing happens there in terms of like these kinds of things. In Miami, and like everybody's a big shot. So they're probably like, I don't care about being a part of your gelato shop for TV. I don't know.
Yeah, well, maybe they also just like wanted it to just fully be a set, like just fully, no interruptions, just the cast talking.
I also just have to say that Jenny talking about trying to squeeze her boobs into a t-shirt that looked like an appropriate size for her when she could have just gotten a bigger shirt. The whole thing was hilarious to me. I think she should have sexed up the t-shirt. Like she should have like tucked it in so it was a baby tee, and she could have sold more.
Yeah, exactly. That very like early 2000s thing of taking an oversized shirt in the front and tying it into like a knot.
Yeah, she's already got the trucker hat. She's right on brand.
Yeah, exactly. That was a moment.
I was gonna say we're entering more of the like early 2000s. I guess it's more like 2010s.
Yeah.
Some of this style, while I would never wear it now, it was way more of a moment than some of the like corporate club era we got in season 1, which Angelina is still very in this season. But Jenny is kind of now in this like Barbie bimbo Y2K Paris Hilton kind of style, where it is the trucker hats, the baby tees. It's still like the bling jeans, but I don't know, it's way more chic than some of the things they were wearing in season 1.
Yeah.
Another just kind of like light happy moment was that Vinny found a barbershop in Miami that he deems good enough for his Sicilian hair. And he also says that his shape up is the equivalent of Paulie's gel in his blowout. Do you agree with that?
I absolutely do not agree with that. I'm sorry. I love you, Vinny, and your hair was fine. It was fine. However,
but it wasn't iconic.
Exactly. It was not iconic. It was a simple fade and a buzz cut. Whereas Paulie, I'm sorry, Vinny, don't compare yourself to Paulie, because Paulie's haircut is a national treasure. Paulie's haircut is a work of art. It's not something that can just simply be recreated. That energy is very specific. I'm sorry. It's the truth.
I couldn't agree more. Paulie was, like you said, a work of art, and Vinny was just getting a haircut. Oh, boy. All right, well, we can take a break now.
Okay.
And we'll be right back.
Can't get enough of hello?
Never.
Well, check us out on social media. We're on Instagram and TikTok at hello pod.
And if you are listening to us, but you'd rather be watching, you can go to patreon.com/hello. There's also going to be tons of bonus content, including bonus episodes and behind the scenes, like how I got my Snooki pove.
And last but not least, if you're a brand or you just want to give us money, send us an email, a professional email at hellopod@gmail.com.
All right, let's get back to the show already.
Okay. Hello?
Hello. Hello!
We're back.
We are back and we're going out again.
Of course.
Do you miss Karma yet?
I do miss Karma. Except
this is Bed and Clutch. That's their Miami bars, right?
Yeah, but you know what I noticed? When they went to bed, it was B.E.D. Does it stand for something? Is bed an acronym? Or I wonder if the club was supposed to be BED. Like, oh, we're going to BED tonight. And they just were saying it wrong.
You think that they changed the name of the club?
Like, what if it was
by
BED?
referring it to as bed?
And now if I was bed, I'd be like, we're bed now. That's the name of our club now.
I feel like bed is so much more clever because to be like, oh, we're going to bed. That's funny. Like to say like, we're going to bed when it's like, oh, we're going to sleep, but it's not, you're going to the club. Like, I think that's so much more clever as a club name than BED. What is that?
What I'm saying. Even if it was not bed, it is now, babe. It is now, babe. Anyway, so do they go to bed or clutch tonight?
I forget because I think they hop between the two at some point.
They do. And you know what? To be honest, most clubs kind of look the same.
Once you're in the inside, it's just lights and sweaty people.
It's usually the paint is kind of a dark gray or black. The lights are purple, blue, sometimes orange.
Through all of the lights, you will see Snooki in her OG Snooki outfit look. She's got on the cheetah dress. She's got the poof. She looks fantastic.
I love that she played homage to herself. She dressed up as Snooki, which is so funny.
Branding queen.
She's the branding queen. She was just playing homage to herself. And Vinny was fancying her. He said she was hot.
Sure was. She did look hot.
This is sort of the first time. This episode is the first time they sort of start to like kind of vibe a little bit.
Sorta. We won't get ahead of ourselves.
Yeah.
Now Vinny also makes a comment about Jenny that I think is fucking hilarious. He says that Albert Einstein should rewrite his laws of physics around Jenny's tits. Brilliant commentary.
This is the kind of poetry that made this show a success.
Oh, it's amazing.
Her breasts were marvelous, though.
She looks so good.
She looked so fantastic.
And she's dancing, and Vinny's right. Like, her boobs are staying in place, and her dress is staying just over her nipples. She's also a work of art.
She is a work of art. She almost looks like a cartoon because the way that the fabric only covers her nipple, and it's right at the edge of the nipple, and it stays there.
It's called fabric.
How does she do it? She's like, she's like Jessica Rabbit.
It's so good. And I do like that the girls are starting to kind of come together. Like at the club, Snooki says she feels bad for Angelina, kind of pulls her aside. And I don't know if maybe Angelina was just vulnerable enough in this moment to have a moment of clarity, but she decides, I'm just going to fess up. Jenny, comes over. She does it to both of them and just says, you know what? I talk shit, but I'm trying to move forward. And she apologizes. This is probably the first genuine apology we've gotten from her this season.
But I have to say, it's kind of weird though, because she apologizes in the club, but then in confessional, she's like, I don't know. I don't really feel that bad, but I have to say what I have to say.
I think that's because later on when they do those confessionals, she was in a totally different mindset.
Right.
Like, it's not like it was immediate. I think in the moment it was genuine. And then I think later she changed her mind because of everything that goes down.
I agree. Yeah. In that moment, she was probably like, these are my girls. I'm going to really apologize. And then, later she was like, no, never mind.
It does make her look two-faced though, because she's saying something in the confessional, but doing something totally different.
Yeah, there you go. So anyways, Angelina and the girls sort of have their makeup moment in the club.
And then Ron and Sam have like 10 minutes where they're good and they're having fun and it's nice. And I kind of, this is where I start to think like Sam's not trying to fight at this point. I think if Ron wasn't like in this, I don't know if it's an alcohol problem or in this just whatever. If Ron wasn't in this point in his life, I don't think it would have escalated the way that it did, because Ron is super drunk. And that's kind of the problems. Aren't like she's getting jealous at there's nothing that they're fighting about. It's just that Ron is super drunk, super aggressive and combative. Like the lights were on, but he was not home.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is she's just not even saying anything. She's just visibly uncomfortable by his drunkenness.
Yeah.
And he antagonizes her, basically being like, what's your problem? And she's
all she's kind of doing is just like kind of laughing and like smiling awkwardly. She hasn't said a damn thing except to the camera, which again is in a confessional. And
Jenny, he just starts berating her. And when she's sort of just like, you know what, do you know how she does. She's like, do you, whatever. And he calls her a fucking bitch.
Yep. For no reason.
For no reason. It was so uncalled for.
He hasn't done anything.
This is one where she was just sitting there letting him do his thing and biting her tongue. And he like almost wanted her to be yelling at him. Like, I think he was like imagining her yelling at him and reacted to that.
Yeah,
You know what I
and
mean?
as much as she could have like been a name called him back and all that stuff, in her confessional, she just says, "I don't appreciate that."
Well, and then she says this, and I have a clip of it because this is not
Yay.
the first time we'll hear a version of this season
Mm-hmm.
because it's said many times, but it's quick. Listen.
I really felt like at that moment, like that was the end of Sam and Ron.
If fucking only.
If fucking only.
Oh God. So then she gets upset and leaves because he just screamed at her that she was a bitch. And like, again, she doesn't even like react at this point. I really feel for Sam because it's not like she is like, fuck you. She just literally turns around and walks out. And some of the girls were good friends because Jenny and Angelina like leave with her, don't they?
Yes, yeah. At that point, they go with her, and I think it's all the girls, right?
At least not Snooki because she's still out
Right.
with Ron later. But the girls absolutely are being Jenny and Angelina, I think, are the ones who went back with her, and they're clearly being good friends to her, which is even more frustrating when we know what happens down the line. You know.
And so it kind of cuts back to everyone that's still at the club, and Ronnie is doing what he does, which is making out and dancing with girls. At this point, the only girl who's witnessed this is Angelina. But at this point, and this is where Ron really fucks up, is Snooki sees.
Yep.
This is a different situation because she's a loudmouth and she's more actually friends with Sam.
Yep.
So she basically threatens not to tell her, but she's saying, you need to tell Sam what you're doing. This is not okay.
She does. She's so cute about it too. She's like, do you really want to be doing this right now?
That's
She's so sweet.
Because I feel like she's trying really hard because she is both of their friends.
All the girls are being really good friends to Sam and Ron, who are just a disaster.
That is a recurring thing this season. Everybody's trying so hard to be good friends to both. And it gets very, very, very difficult because I don't think they handled everything correctly. However, put in their position, I don't know that I would either. Like, that's a weird place to be.
And they all say over and over again that they have no idea what to do and that, like, Ronnie's a part of the IFF and they just don't know. They don't know how to handle it. The I'm Fucked Foundation.
Oh, because later when they said that, I didn't know what they meant, but I forgot.
They said it, I think, in episode 2. They said Ronnie's the president of the IFF, the I'm Fucked Foundation.
I remember.
Not to be confused with the GTF, which is the Get Fucked Foundation, which is the men who are trying to get their dick wet. This is all very nuanced, Cookie.
I remember now. But anyways.
Oh, can I just say this too? When Ron and Snooki are kind of having this discussion and Snooki's trying to help. This is the second time that we see Ron shoving a woman on camera. Why did it take until 2022 to get him off the show for violence when we see it with 2 cast members right here in the second season? What the fuck?
I have no words. And again, it's a hard shove. She flies.
Sorry to get loud about that, but yeah, it's ridiculous.
She literally flew into the other guys.
And they do agree, like, at that point, you gotta go. Like, we need to stop. But, like, that's as much as the guys can do. They are not in charge of this show. Why the fuck didn't production say, you know what? We gotta either, like, tell him you're like, that would have been the perfect time to be like, not only are you a drunk mess, but you're now shoving people. You need a timeout. Ronnie goes and has to like go home for 2 episodes or something. And maybe that would have been a reality check that he needed. Why do they do nothing? It's so frustrating.
Well, and you know what is so weird about this season in particular is that as bad as it is, the particular brand of horrible that Ronnie is it's almost cartoonish. It's almost like script. It feels fake. This is why I feel like people accuse the show of being fake, because when you watch it, it's like there's no way this is a real human being.
Yeah, like when they come back from the club and he's so drunk that he like literally falls face plants into like the ground onto like I think kind of onto a beanbag chair. It's really ridiculous the level of drunk he is. He's acting like a man child, and I don't think it's staged by any means. No, but it is like there are some people who and I'm one of these people. There are some people where they drink alcohol and when it hits a certain limit, they just throw it up. And then, so I never really get to this point, but I know people whose bodies their bodies just aren't vomiters. And so it all stays in no matter how much they drink. And I think that's more scary because at least my body is giving me a warning of like, you got to stop now. His body, I don't think does that, which is why he gets to this point. You can see it when he's doing this thing. And
Yeah.
it's like,
He
he
glazes
does look
over.
terrifying.
He does. And you know what the thing is? I think he gets there on purpose. I think he aims to get that drunk.
Yeah, like some people are partiers and some people are drinkers. Ronnie's a drinker. He thinks he's a partier.
Right.
He's not. He's a drinker.
I'm so glad you said that because there is a distinct difference when you go out with a group of people. You could tell the people that are there to have a good time and the people that are there to get very drunk.
Yeah.
There is a difference. Ronnie, I feel like he's going to the club and saying, I'm going to pound drinks quickly and get fucked up. He must be tortured. Like there must be, he must have a lot going on in his head that leads him to be so angry and to get so drunk and to be violent, right? And not to excuse his behavior, but there's got to be something going on in there.
If somebody's acting this dark, it's because they're fighting demons. I think you're on the money with that. And that's not an excuse, but like he should have been in therapy.
Maybe he needed a rehab.
Yeah, well, I think he tried that. I don't know if it worked.
Oh, is that true?
There was so in one of the Jersey Shore like family reunion seasons, I don't remember when, but when he was in a not good place, and I forget why, something in the news and whatever, and Mike, who has rehabbed himself to extreme proportions, he was kind of like, you have to hit rock bottom, and Ronnie can go to these things in these treatment centers and go to rehab, but if he's not willing to like hit rock bottom and then change, like the commentary that Mike was saying was basically like these things aren't going to work on him until he really is ready to change, which comes from hitting rock bottom. And so he was implying that like Ronnie had tried rehab and things, and I think part of it is because like he goes there as a result of something bad that happened, like he got drunk, he hit his girlfriend, and then as an apology he's like, I'm going to change, I'm going to go to rehab. But that's not self-motivated, and that's the only reason you're going to change. Like you can say you're going to change for somebody up and down, but that's just not it. Do you love how I talk like I've been in some like crazy abusive relationship? Like that's so not the case.
Have you ever been to rehab?
No, but I've had exes that have been to rehab.
Oh, really? Did it work on them?
No. You're not supposed to date after rehab for a certain amount of time. And my ex totally lied to me about how long he had been out of rehab. And so you're not supposed to date for a year. And he told me he was like well past that year. And I learned like 6 months into us dating that he was like 3 months fresh out of rehab. And I was like, and guess what? He got addicted to me.
That is a very common thing of people replacing drugs with a person. Yeah.
And there were times where I'm like, you don't even like me. You don't even like me, but you just like, you won't leave because what? Oh God, I'm going to cut that down anyway, but sorry.
No, I like these like personal moments where we can relate specifically like in our lives to what's happening on the show, but I don't think we should cut it.
Okay.
What's up to you? It's up to you.
In any case, all right, let's move off from the heavy things because there's some fun things that do happen after this night. And usually, guess what? It's Snooki who's fucking carrying this show. She also, after the club, looks hot as shit. Like I know that Vinny was kind of hitting on her pre-club, but post-club when she took the poof out and her hair's flowing, but she still got like her look, she looks really good. I'd tap.
She is giving very hot mess.
In a great way. Like chic, the hot mess chic.
Because I think of hot mess, I think people forget the hot part and just think it's a mess. Sure. A hot mess to me is somebody who is a mess, but still looks hot. And that's
I agree. I couldn't agree more. And she lays down to call her boyfriend. Vinny's already passed out on the beanbag. So like they kind of cuddle up, which I think it started out as innocent and they both like didn't want it to be. And they were kind of like teasing, hitting each other.
Well, then she crawls into bed with him.
Oh, she sure does.
And this is the first time of many of these occasions that are to come.
She is incredible because she just gets it. And now he invites her into bed. She gets in bed and they're laying there. They're not even looking at each other. They're laying in opposite directions. And she just goes, want to fuck? And he goes, sure. They're not even looking at each other. And then they roll over and do the damn thing.
Well, okay. So they say, Snooki says, do you want to fuck? And then she turns around and then it cuts away. Do you think they fucked?
Yes. I do. Because he said something in the morning about his clothes being all over the place. And he was like, did I do the unthinkable? Did I bang Snooki? And he like at some point kind of jokes like to his his roommate's like, oh, nothing happened. But that's no, I think I need to update our chart, which is becoming a mess slowly, one episode at a time.
Oh my goodness. Well, we don't have proof, but yes, I agree. We're pretty sure that this was the first time they had sex. The first time.
I was going to say we know they do eventually, but I would bet money that they do here for the first time.
I agree.
So like in the morning, Jenny's with everybody kind of recapping the night. And I think the overall tone is just like everyone's like scared and doesn't know what to do because they know that this is the calm before the storm with the way that Ron's been acting.
And they're all kind of discussing that they're in a very uncomfortable position where they're friends with both parties and they feel this expectation from Ron to keep their mouth shut, but they feel an expectation from Sam to let her know what's been going on. And it is a weird place to be. But I have to say, there should come a point where you have to draw the line and say, this is my friend, but he's gone too far. So I need to kind of not protect him anymore, even though he's my friend. Like, that doesn't mean you don't still love him and consider him a friend. But if your friend goes too far, I think it's okay to say, you've gone too far and I need to help you by telling Sam and ending this.
Let's take a little break before we get into the rest of the episode.
Let's.
Hey everybody, do you want to hear more queer voices or maybe just more of Gina? Well, I'm Cheyenne from Hot Mess Again.
And I'm Seb, and we're Gina's co-host from her other podcast, Sapphic Survival Guide. Each week we cover a new topic in the queer universe and answer all the questions that you want to know.
Yeah, so after you're done listening to this episode, of course, pop on over to Sapphic Survival Guide wherever you listen to podcasts. Hello, we're back.
Hello and welcome back. There was one thing I forgot to mention before the break that I wanted to was that, of course, after their giant fight, they coincidentally are scheduled together at the gelato shop, Ron and Sam.
What a coincidence I'm sure that was.
So they have a shift together. And it's actually it's one of those moments we talked about this last season where it feels like the show is almost trying to make us root for them, but we
the music.
don't, because they play the sappy music and it's Ron and Sam going, I just love her. I just love him. And they kind of have like a makeup moment. And weirdly, this is sort of the moment after this big fight, after Ron humiliates her, and she doesn't fully know the extent, but I think deep down she knows something's up. He officially asked her to be his girlfriend again, and she accepts, and she's like, he's my boyfriend now.
This was really, really hard to watch because you can tell that like not only is Sam in the dark about so much, but she's also in the dark about like how he's feeling, and she's just clearly hurting and grasping at anything he's throwing to her, and he is being so toxic and just like, of course he's going to be nice and affectionate when it's convenient for him, and then he's going to go make out with other people when it's more convenient for him. This really was hard to watch. It just sucks. He's so toxic.
Well, luckily that scene came and went pretty quick because it was awkward to watch.
Hated it.
The next major moment, and I've been excited to talk about this is the introduction of MVP.
Can I just say it's so frustrating to have this duality before we get into all the fun stuff of all this darkness when all I really want to be talking about is MVP and all this funny stuff that all these fun housemates are getting into. I could watch a whole season of that. And it's so frustrating that in these same episodes where we get these iconic moments like the inception of MVP, that we also have to deal with this cloud. You know, I hate that.
It's almost emotional whiplash the way they edit it, because they cut back and forth. It'll be cute moment, tragic, cute, tragic, cute, tragic. And it's like my brain is like, oh, I don't know what to do.
Anyway, so we're whiplashed into the fun of MVP. Mike, Vinny, Pauly. How coincidental, I guess.
A lot of the famous quotes from the show come from season 2, because this is another one that continues throughout the series, but it starts in season 2.
Right now, they're the MVP in MIA supporting the GFF. There's way more that come later on in the season. They just have acronyms out the ass.
And so at this point, we get a funny Angelina moment.
Oh boy.
The guys make it very clear to everybody that this is an MVP night. It is a guys' night for the three of them. And Angelina, she invites herself. Now, what do you make of this?
I think that she is such a pick-me that it is literally cringy to watch. She is so absurd. And it's like, you want to be friends with everybody, but then you do these things that it's like clearly for attention. And she wants to be the guy's girl. She's so bad, wants to be the girl. It's like, oh, I just like get along with better with guys. I don't know what it is.
I have a little clip for you.
Oh no.
I honestly want to go out, you guys, but I don't want to be the only girl. Like,
Yeah, no, you
Yeah,
think you're
no, I
right.
feel
Yeah,
you,
yeah, I feel
yeah.
you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
so
I
now
wouldn't-
you're
if I
right.
was you, I wouldn't
Yeah,
either.
I totally agree.
Yeah, absolutely.
100%.
Yeah, definitely.
you guys are so corny. Shut up.
Look, we're trying to do an MVP guy night.
I'd still go.
Angelina.
No! I'd still go.
They just had to say to you, essentially, Angelina, we don't want you to come. And she goes, well, I'm still going.
But what is even her draw of going?
Girl.
Because she's always cock blocking them. She's always like in their drama. Why? And she recently just brought it back to the house and was slapping Paulie and whatever. Why would they want you there?
I think she almost feels like, even though she knows they don't want her there and they kind of don't like her, at least they won't yell at her or call her. Like, it won't be the same type of fight she might have with the girls. So
She's scared of the girls.
I think she's scared of the girls. I think she knows nobody in the house likes her, but the guys are safer. They don't like her in a more subtle way. And so she is willing to kind of deal with that. But
It's so uncomfortable.
what a weird place to be, knowing that nobody in the house likes you. And even the people that tolerate you, they don't like you. They're just being cordial. Like, how does that make you feel? And then she keeps doubling down and making people not like her more.
She's really not helping her case. But it
No.
is hilarious because they managed to ditch her pretty like smoothly too, surprisingly. They're all like awkwardly standing in the backyard and Angelina is so weird, just like standing with them, like staring, like it's so giving like little sister vibes.
Yeah.
Like when you have to bring your sister along and you don't want to. And the second she turns her head, they're just like, go, 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 go.
It's, again, I keep saying cartoony, but it's so cartoony the way they literally run when she turns around, and then she turns around and is like, hey.
It was good. It was good. So they make it out. They make it out to the club, but they said that they've never seen a club this bad because there are grenades and landmines everywhere.
But as Vinny describes, that is not going to stop Mike and Polly.
It does
Never.
one. It hasn't. Yeah, it hasn't before.
It hasn't before. You know what? At this point, sure. Is the club full of grenades? Yeah. But why would we go to a second location? It is what it is.
And this is the drama that's absolutely fucking hilarious. And while I don't condone all of the like shaming that they're doing and judging of these women, they're so funny. Even just their language of like, we're dodging landmines and we got to make sure these grenades don't blow up. Like they are fucking funny.
Listen, are they misogynistic? Yes. Are they clever? Also, yes.
It's entertaining at least. Like, and like, again, if this was the only like drama are the guys going to end up with grenades, I'd still tune in.
Now, I'm sorry to kind of jump forward a little bit, but I just have to say this. I've been waiting for this whole episode to say this.
Yeah.
They go back and they're in the hot tub.
Yeah.
And some poor girl's chicken cutlet falls out of her bra and
production wants you to know which girl it is.
Oh my God. They were making it so clear that she was like,
she like keeps checking her. It probably wasn't even her. They just caught her twice, like moving her top.
Poor girl. For anybody who doesn't know, if any men are listening, that any straight men that, don't do drag or anything, any men who've never worn a bra
and don't have girlfriends that wear small boobs.
If you don't, what I'm saying is, if you don't know what a chicken cutlet is in this context, a chicken cutlet is like a slab of silicone.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks like a chicken cutlet. That's why they call it that. And you put it in your bra, like under your boob, and
a little insert.
It makes it look bigger. And this poor girl, it fell out and was floating in the hot tub. At this point in
time, I don't know that they were as well known. Like, I think that they're like, it was more of a secret thing. You know how, girls used to have like tricks. Like, I think those aren't really like quote unquote tricks anymore because you're not tricking. Like, people know now that we wear all these things to enhance. I mean, whatever. And so the same way guys might shove a sock down their pants, girls might put a little lift in their boobs. But why would you go swimming with it?
But also, what do you do? Because I think they stripped right there in the backyard. So, like, how do you slickly take a slab of silicone out of your bra?
You turn around, you pull them out, and you slide them into your purse. You're going into a pool.
Yeah. But it was such like a guy moment where they were like, oh, what is this?
It was really funny. It was funny.
And ironically, I don't know if he knew that this is what they're called, but was it Polly? He said it looks like a chicken cutlet.
Yeah, and that's what that's the nickname for him, which is so funny.
Called,
it was almost like chicken or egg. Did he name them, or did he know or something? I don't know.
Maybe. I think they were just called that already. Some people call them falsies, but I call falsies fake eyelashes. So.
Oh, well, they're in the hot tub, like you said. They have the chicken cutlet tossed around, like you said, and Mike kind of splashes water on his face. He claims he sobers up a little and sees that they are just in Grenade Central, and he immediately is like, "We gotta get these animals out of our zoo.
I have had those moments where not necessarily a grenade situation, but where like you somehow instantly sober up a tiny bit and you're like, oh shit, how did I end
Yeah.
up here? You can see Mike like splashing water and like opening his eyes like, ooh.
He's like, whoa, 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 whoa.
What else happened?
Speaking of funny, one of my favorite, this actually made me like, I had to pause because I was cracking up. We go back to the gelato shop, which we've already seen more of in 3 episodes of the gelato shop than we have of the t-shirt shop the entire first season. But
I think they just set it up better.
That's another point though. But Snooki is continuously, like I said, carrying the show. She's at her shift at the gelato shop. She's so short that they can't see her from behind the counter. And they show her like, ding, there's a little like point, and it's just the top of Snooki's head on the other side of the counter.
She should have worn her poof. She would have been more visible.
Well, they get her a stool, which she's just like, I can't believe I need a freaking stool. This is ridiculous. I'm so, like, she's so funny.
That is embarrassing though. They have to pull out a stool. How tall is she? I don't think she's 5 foot, right? She's like 4'10" or 4'11".
She at probably 5 foot on the dot at most. I'm 5'2", and I definitely know she's shorter than me. And I already feel pretty short in life, especially with a girlfriend who's 6'2".
Now, something I noticed in this moment that I had not noticed about the gelato shop was that the large scoop of gelato was $6. Now, this is 2010. I feel like that's a lot for 2010. Like, I feel like I could get a gelato for $6 now, even with all the inflation and COVID and stuff. So was that, I feel like that was pricey.
I do think gelato is a little more expensive than ice cream, but I also was going to say, I think Miami is also a little expensive than other places, but you're in LA. It's probably expensive.
Last time I had gelato was in Vegas, and Vegas is another place where it's like ridiculously expensive. So maybe it's one of those things where it just wasn't affected by inflation.
Anyway, so the rest of the episode is kind of centered around, are they going out? Is like, who's going out? Who's going where? Because at this point, I've been keeping track of the days, and they're weekend-ish, a little less. And so I think they're not all doing these group activities. They're kind of ready to like split up a little bit. When the guys went out the one night, the girls went to play pool. And so this night, Snooki and Jenny are like, oh, we're going to go on a date and go out to eat. And Ronnie and Sam at first agreed to stay in together. And, instead of choosing to have sex with his girlfriend all night, at last minute, he's like, well, why don't you go out with the girls and I'll go out with the guys? Which obviously upset Sam because she had just gotten what she wanted, a night in with her mans. Clearly, his mindset isn't, I want Sam and more of Sam. Yeah. And anything I need, sexually, emotionally, whatever I can get from Sam. His mindset is, go spread seed and get as many girls, because I think he's jealous that his roommates get to do that. But if he was like I said, if he was smart, he'd realize that the guys usually come home without girls, and he's got a guaranteed one in his bed every night who actually cares about him at this point. And it's just stupid that he's like, well, why don't you go out and I'll go out with the guys. Like, well, then you don't really like her that much.
He wants to chase. He wants to chase.
And when he does go out, can I just say I fucking hate his outfit? What was that?
What was he wearing? I don't remember.
It was like he was going to a golf course. Like, it was a light blue and white, like thin striped polo with a white collar and then a white hat. And it was awful. I just raved about the girls stepping it up. Ronnie has taken a step back.
And can I just say that I just noticed for the first time that he's a pierced nipple? I never noticed.
Well, that's kind of hot.
No, but I just never noticed.
I never noticed either. We get so caught up in talking about Polly's penis piercing.
Does Polly still have his penis piercing?
I fucking hope so. Why would you ever get rid of that?
And what kind is it? I've heard there's multiple kinds.
There are multiple kinds. You can do a Google and there's a little like infographic that'll show you all the different kinds. I think he has like the Prince Albert or something it's called. I think. I don't know. Very interesting. And I just said, Snooki and Jenny were going out to eat. And at dinner, they're kind of talking like, all right, we got to do something. And we start to kind of see, we're supposed to think that it's their idea coming to light of maybe we should, take this into our own hands. We will get way into some of our theories and the Reddit threads and all the things behind the note. But that's kind of what this preview is for next episode, is all surrounding, they're calling it the letter at this point.
No. Well, we'll talk more about it next week. But for this week, do you want to do our quote?
Yes. And this takes it back to our blooming couple of Snooki and Vinny. Their interaction is honestly so fun. Who do you want to be?
Ooh, can I be Snooks?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I need you to just channel. You've got on your leopard dress, you've got your poof, and you're in like full Snooki glory.
Okay, I'm ready.
You look hot.
Really?
I've never said that to you. You just took my breath away.
You trying to smush right now?
No.
You look hot too.
And scene because she scurries away.
She's so cute. She's so
She's adorable.
charming.
Oh, I just love her.
All right. Well, I think this has gone on long enough. Goodbye.
Goodbye. Bye.
Goodbye.
If you want more of the podcast, you can follow us on any social media at Hello Pod.
We also have a Patreon, patreon.com/hello. We've got a video feed there so you can see our beautiful faces while we recap Jersey Shore. And we've also got a little bit of behind the scenes bonus content for you.
And you can find me anywhere online at The Libregina, including my website, thelibregina.com.
And you can find me online on TikTok and Instagram at angel.iconic.music.
Thanks for listening.
Bye.